Hello good people of YouTube, All About Nat is back with another video, and today guys, as the title says, we're going to be talking about the YouTube sneaker stores that are going crazy right now. As we know, round 2 started this wave, how long ago now? I don't know, it's got to be about 5 years ago roughly. Then we had Cool Kicks, and then we had Urban Necessities, and now we have a multitude of sneaker streetwear stores starting a YouTube channel, which I think is really exciting. I think it's really interesting. As somebody who's been into, shoes for a long time, I think it's interesting to see these stores. They are all in America. I find that interesting, but that's a whole other subject. So guys, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, turn your little notification bell on so you know when I'm dropping a video. Please drop a like on this video, and also it's essential that you comment down below your thoughts, because this video is essentially, a discussion. I want to talk about these stores with you guys. You subscribe to my channel because you're interested in sneakers and you're interested in streetwear, so you have probably watched these stores yourself. So now I'm not going to go into every single store because there are just tons of them at the moment. I'm going to touch on maybe 4 of the stores. These are my opinions, okay? You may disagree, you may agree, but what I want to make clear, these are my opinions, and literally we're all entitled to our opinion. So, I don't want any hate on here. If I disagree with you, you disagree with me. We can be adults about this and we can just have a chat about it. Don't need to get excited, it's not that serious. So, without further ado, let's get into the video, guys. So, as you know, we have had a multitude of YouTube sneaker stores popping up all over YouTube of late. As I touched on before, we've had round 2, Urban Necessities, Cool Kicks. They have got, tons and tons, thousands upon thousands of subscribers. Round 2 started this whole thing about 5 years ago. It's become really big in this past sort of 12 months, 2 years, to open a YouTube channel to go alongside your store. Now, I think personally it's a fantastic idea. It really is. Because not only does it promote your channel to a wider audience, as in worldwide, but it shows people the day-to-day running of a small business or a big business, depending on, the size of the store. Which again, I think is great because it inspires people to get into doing their own business, whatever it may be. Obviously, this is all directed at sneaker reselling, but I just think if you're opening a store, and I think this of every genre. I spoke to a guy actually who has got like a really cool magazine bookshop not far from me, and it sells things like Days, like Beast magazine, all those that kind of genre, arty and unusual that you wouldn't get in your local magazine shop. And I said to him, why aren't you opening a YouTube channel? You should start a YouTube channel because it opens you up to a massive audience. He ships worldwide, and he was a bit whatever, but personally, if I was opening a store of any kind, I would start a YouTube channel because it doesn't matter whether it's fishing gear or whether it is furniture. There are people that are into everything. Every genre of stuff is loved by different types of people. So I just think it's a given that you should do this. So going back to the ones that I've seen and I watch, there are some fantastic things about them. There are some not so fantastic things about them. And again, this is just my opinion, okay? It's my opinion. I'm not an expert. I am just giving my opinion as the viewer. Yes, I have worked in sneaker retail before, and I have managed a store before. However, you know, I'm not an expert. So I'm going to start off with Sneak City. Now, Sneak City are a store, resale store owned by Tia and Anastasia, a couple who are in Seattle, in Washington, in the States. They have a fantastic store. Now, they've been in the business for, you know, 5 years, roughly 5 years. So they know what they're doing. And they, you know, I think they've got roughly about 60,000 subscribers as it is at the minute. And they have their own merch. They have a really cool shop dog, which I love, Moscow. We say Moscow, Americans say Moscow. But yeah, Moscow. Oh, great, cute dog, really, really love him. And they are what I would call the epitome of professional. So anybody who is opening a store and was thinking about starting on YouTube, just look at those guys. I think, in my opinion, they are the best YouTube channel sneaker store. They only take quality inventory. So if you follow them on Instagram, you will see day to day the kind of stuff they are taking in. They only take quality. They don't take beaten up shoes. It is just, they are so on it, it's unbelievable. So they upload every single day's worth of inventory onto their IG. Then that evening it goes onto their website. So if you're on their IG, you will get to see what they, you know, they're dropping that night earlier, so it's worth obviously following them. Just honestly, the way they interact is professional. They treat their regular customers really well, so you can tell that, you know, if you've got a regular, you can tell by the way they talk to them. But equally, they talk to everybody the same. They talk to Richie Lee in exactly the same way as they talk to Joe Bloggs, who comes in from down the road. There's no difference. So they're not, you know, sucking up to anybody. They talk to them in the same professional, friendly manner, and I love that. I love that. I think it's really good to talk to your regular, normal customers just the same, because at the end of the day, they're the ones shopping there regularly. So they are extremely professional, they're very friendly, and I think their prices are fair. So if you're taking your shoes in there to sell, obviously do not expect the same as StockX, because they've got to resell it on. If you want to sell and get the maximum amount of money for your shoe, sell it privately. You're not going to get that same thing, because they've got to make money, they've got to pay bills. But I think they are the fairest, along with one other store which I'll talk about in a second. So I think that what they're doing is absolutely spot on. Can't fault them. Honestly, I can't fault them. I think if I was giving a mark out of 10, I would give them a 9.5. I mean, I can't give them a 10 because I'm sure they're not perfect. Obviously, we only see the YouTube channel. So, guys, hit up Sneak City on YouTube and on IG. And honestly, if you are looking to look up to somebody to see how it's done properly, you want to look at Sneak City, honestly. Okay, the next store that I'm going to be talking about is the Soul Broker. Now, they're quite small when it comes to the subscribers. I think they've got less than me, which is quite amazing, quite frankly. But the difference with the Soul Broker, and I wonder whether they've not hit the same. And again, this is just my opinion. I don't dislike them. So the Soul Broker are based in New York, okay? They've got 2 stores, one in Brooklyn, one in Staten Island. I think it's run by brothers, Andrew and somebody else, and I can't remember his name now. I do watch them. I don't watch them religiously though, and I will tell you why. Obviously they know what they're doing, they've got 2 stores. I do, however, think that their payouts aren't the best. And I think there's a couple of things I would do differently. So number one, they don't put background music on their videos. I've actually said this. I've said, you know, I've put a comment, I think you would, you know, it would be really good if you put background music on the videos. There's not enough editing, in my opinion. There's too much of dead time, if that makes sense. There's too much like, yeah, I could have cut that out. You know, you want things to flow. The way Sneak City do it, they're going from transaction to transaction. There's a lot of bittiness in these videos with the Soul Broker where it just is boring, quite honestly. I think Andrew's personable skills are iffy at times. Like, he will talk to his colleague about the sale this colleague is making with the customer, and like talk like the customer's not there. And I find that really weird, because if I was a customer, I'd be like, you can talk to me, you know, I am stood here. I'm not keen on, yeah, and as I said, I think they need music in the background. It's too dead. It doesn't flow very well. And I think that's why they're slow in growth. Also, they get a lot of dislikes. They don't particularly, they're not that popular, and I just wonder whether it is where the characters of the people are, you just don't see enough of them, if that makes sense. You could do with seeing a bit more banter. I don't know. Let me know if you've watched The Soul Broker. Do you understand what I mean? Because there's something not quite right there, and I think that, you know, as I've said, the music, needs more editing, and I think some of the offer, it goes too into, well, I've got to pay rent and I've got to, kind of justifies his prices. If you're going to give those prices, you don't have to justify it. It's your store at the end of the day. Whether I think it's low or whether Joe Blogs thinks it's low, don't start justifying it, because I just don't think you need to go into your outgoings. Everyone knows you've got rent to pay, staff to pay, etc, etc. So I would give Soul Broker a 5 out of 10. Moving on. So the next one I'm going to talk about is the Common Hype. Common Hype are brothers, own the store, I think, with friends. In Brandon Yamo, is it Brandon Yamo and Bryson Yamo, I think. If I'm wrong, please correct me. They are based in Arizona, and they are a reselling store. I think what they do is great. I'm not keen on the whole, sorry, I'm just moving my camera a minute because it was a bit squiffy. Not keen on the whole advocating for bots. That's something that I don't particularly like. They do a lot of botting. They do buy in masses of bulk, which, you know, they've got a store and they obviously turn over a lot of stock. They have a website as well. They have an IG. They pay really well. So I would say the Common Hype and Sneak City, if I was in America, those are the 2 stores I would send my inventory to. Now, they do gift on arrival, so if you send your stuff to them, they legit check it, then they will pay you, which is fine because they're a store. They're not going to scam you. People know where they are, you know, they are trusted. I would absolutely go to those and StockX if I was living in America and I was selling shoes, because as I say, they pay really well, they're really fair. In fact, sometimes Common Hype pay better than StockX. They are probably one of the best for not lowballing you and basically giving you a fair price. So I would highly recommend those if you are in the States. That is the one thing that I would give a massive positive for Common Hype, is the amount they pay. They seem very professional. Their store is crispy clean, just as Sneak City's is. I forgot to mention that. Their store is great, the way they've laid it out. All looks fantastic. Really, really clean. And they are extremely professional. The downside to Common Hype, and this is coming from a female sneakerhead who's been buying for a long time now, 25 years roughly, it's a bit boys clubby. I feel like they need 1 or 2 female members of staff. They do a lot of, oh look at this boys, this boys. It's definitely something that's in their vocabulary, and as a woman watching it, I find it really irritating. It's like, I don't know, it just gives off a boys club kind of vibe. And if I was shopping, walking in, I would feel a bit, oh, am I welcoming it, or is this a boys club? I don't know. It definitely needs a woman's touch. They need some staff that are female. I 100% feel that is needed. You know, like the Soul Broker, I think they have 1 or 2 female members of staff. I think it's vital. In this day and age, I think, you know, we don't have enough women in this industry. Obviously with Sneak City, it's 2 women that own the store, which is fantastic. And I know that they've said they'd love to have a team of women. And weirdly, you don't get that vibe, the opposite vibe with them. You don't get a girls club vibe. It's just professional women owning a store. But as soon as you get like a group of lads together, it becomes, I don't know, and maybe it's a certain age as well. They're all in their early 20s. I don't know, it just gives off a bit of boys clubby. And I have said this to Brandon. He's kind of ignored it, but you know, it's just, I feel like you need to listen to you peoples. I just think that unless it's a personal attack, trolling, which I 100% say ignore any of that crap. But any constructive criticism, I think, is definitely should be taken on board. But apart from that, that's my only criticism of the Common Hype, is the boys club vibe that their YouTube channel gives off. Might be different if you walked in there, I don't know. That's just what their channel gives off. Apart from that, I would say the Common Hype is I'd say an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. I say the prices are really fair. Their store looks really nice. They've obviously got their website as well. I don't know whether they ship overseas though. I don't know. Not 100% sure. I know Sneak City don't, and I wish they would. That's it. That's why I'm knocking a half a point off, because they don't ship overseas. There we go. I knew there was something. Because it is a bit annoying for us people who would love to buy stuff from their store. Anyway, so that is a Common Hype. Moving on, last but not least, and the most controversial of online YouTube sneaker stores, Cam's Kicks. So, Cam's Kicks, what can I say about this dude? So, I started off, he came up on my recommendations, I decided to watch, and very interesting, I subscribed. I quickly unsubscribed because the lowballing this dude does is just unbelievable. And people, all his like fans, all they do is go, oh, anyone who says they lowball, oh, he's got bills to pay, he's a business, da 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 da. He argues the toss over $5-10. It is ridiculous. One of the things that really bugged me on a recent video was he knocked a guy down from $20 to $10. What was even more annoying was the guy accepted it. Now, I 100% think he lowballs, but what is just as bad as his lowball is the fact that these people accept it. I love it when you see someone actually go, no, because you should stand your ground. If you're going into Cam's Kicks and you want $250 for your shoe, go in and say $320. It's quite simple, because some of these transactions are crazy, absolutely crazy. I've also seen him bag a steal because the person didn't know what they were selling. Now, okay, there is a fault in that from the person, but I've also seen round two give them more than the person asked because they knew it was worth more. That is fantastic, and I think I've seen Sneak City do it once or twice. Cam jumps on it, jumps on that, does not entertain, being honest with the customer. Now, he doesn't have to be, but I just think it's good to be transparent. It shows that you are honest. That is just one of the gripes with him. The other thing is he's rude to some of his customers, and he also humiliates his customers in the titles of his YouTube videos. I don't like that at all, because if that was him taking the piss out of me, I wouldn't go back. I just wouldn't go back. I think that is really, really unprofessional. Really unprofessional. He also started off his YouTube channel by mocking other sneaker stores on YouTube. I think he mocked Sneak City, and he mocked Soul Broker. I just don't think that is professional. It's not a professional look. Now, I know this kid is only 20. I get it. But, I mean, his parents should be telling him how to be when you're a businessman. It's not rocket science. If I was being a bit of a dick like he's been, I know my parents would have pulled me up by now. Mocking people, your customers on your channel, is not a good look. He started off very well, Yes, all right, it was a bit awkward on camera, but he was young and he started his channel, and, that I won't criticise for. Because, you've got to get used to it. My first few videos were shocking on this channel. He's kind of not helped himself in other ways. His mystery boxes, oh my God. Giving a brilliant mystery box to Untied Hawaii. Masses and masses of profit, all dead stock shoes. And then the same value box to a nobody YouTuber, like myself, for example. Gave total bricks, absolute battered shoes. That's just shady, in my opinion. So he messed up there. He got so much hate. He gets so much hate. He has to be one of the most disliked YouTube channels at the moment. Yes, he's got 126,000 subscribers. But the amount of dislikes, the amount of hate he gets, his views have dropped off massively. And it's all because he's made some terrible decisions, really bad decisions. And I do wish, I've said it before, I wish his parents would get him in hand, because he's blown up in a very short space of time, but he's declined in just the same short space of time. He's really, really hurt his business and his reputation by making some bad decisions. He's recently gone to some nobody Z-list celebrities in LA, gifted them 10 grand's worth of shoes for tags and shares on YouTube and IG, got 0 back. None of these people shared him, none of them tagged him. It was a waste of 10 grand. He got a load of hate for that, and then he counteracted that by then doing a video straight after giving to a food bank near him, giving out money to waiters and trying to be all, you know, Big Doors TV and That Was Epic and Mr. Beast. And it's like, it takes one thing and then he tries to counteract, and it's dead obvious. It's like, just be yourself. Do what you were doing at the start. Go back to basics. Stop with the gimmicks. Because, you know, Sneak City are growing slowly but surely by continuing to do what they know best. And that's the way to do it. Being authentic, being yourself. I can't help but just think he's missed the trick big time by trying to be too clever. You know, I hope he can get it back on track, because he obviously had a good thing at the beginning, but he's got to do it quickly because he's getting so much hate from it. Tripping has had an absolute field day, and that guy is hilarious, honestly. He's had an absolute field day with him. But the positives of Cam's Kicks is he ships overseas. He does ship overseas. Would I buy from Cam's Kicks? No, I wouldn't, honestly, because I'm just not vibing. I'm not vibing with him. And, you know, my opinion is just from what I've seen. You know, obviously I'm old enough to be his mother, and if he was my son, I would have pulled him into line ages ago and just said, you're messing up big time, boy. I just think you need to sort yourself out, because this is such a great opportunity and he's got such a good platform, but he's messed up on so many levels. So I would give Cam's Kicks a 3 out of 10. And that's being generous. Even his first employee that he hired, Henry, he is left now. I think he got a little bit fed up of the gimmicks. He left when they came back from LA. And I just think he got fed up with the gimmicks. He says there was no animosity, but there clearly was, because I've seen that Cam's liked digs at Henry, and Henry's liked digs at Cam. So there's definitely been something going on there. So yeah, 3 out of 10. I would say it's probably the weakest of the channels for various, as I've just said, for the reasons given. And if I was recommending one to go to sell and buy, it would be Sneak City. Then it would be the Common Hype. Both very good, very, very professional shops to shop at. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts on these stores, and also let me know if you're in the States and you've been to any of these stores. I'd love to hear your opinion. As I've said, to clarify, these are just my opinions. There is no personal hate. It's just my opinions of these stores from watching their YouTube channels. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and all about that. We'll see you on the next one. Keep it real, guys.